Welcome to What's Your Mount Rushmore podcast with hosts Mark Duvel and John Hanson.
Are you kidding me?
Two old friends and knuckleheads discussing and covering their top four choices for any and all topics, making up their Mount Rushmore selections each week. Nothing is off limits. As you listen, remember we always want to know, what's your Mount Rushmore?
In the house tonight. Woo! Everybody just have a good time. Yeah. And we gon' make you lose your mind.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Guess what? It's What's Your Mount Rush? What the hell is it? It's What's Your Mount Rushmore?
What is this damn podcast called again?
Oh my God, I do so many podcasts, I can't keep them all straight.
Nope.
Anyway, but we are back and we're excited because this is actually a really cool episode and it's something different that we've never done before. And my name's John Hanson and I'm going to let Mark explain it all to you.
Yes, welcome back. Again, I'm the other host, Mark Duvel, and this is truly, and I stress the word, special edition. This episode of What's Your Mount Rushmore, we are featuring the ultimate party song. Okay, so to make that authentic, the only way to really have a podcast about the ultimate party song is to actually do this live from a party.
Yeah.
All right, so I am live, even though when people listen to this, they're not listening to this live. But believe me, the logistics of this was crazy. But I am live from the What's Your Mount Rushmore podcast party. I am located at the Perkins Roadside Motor Lounge and Pub, and I'm in Champlin, Minnesota right now. So here's the deal, listener. On this episode, we're doing things very different from what we normally do on our typical week-to-week podcast. Each of our guests, now most of these guests, actually all of these guests, are dear friends of Molly and I's, and they are parents to the friends of our son, Sonny. Most of these dudes play baseball together, and I'm one of the coaches. I'm the head coach, and a lot of my assistant coaches will be joining us at some point throughout the evening to give us their picks of their ultimate party song. So how this episode is going to be different is each of our guests are going to have only one pick to plug the ultimate party jukebox with. Okay. So they've had weeks, and I stress weeks, to narrow it down to one song. And it's their all-time favorite party song to elevate any party or any bar they're at. After all the picks have been made and presented to John and I are going to form our own Mount Rushmore only from the list that was given to us tonight while we recorded the podcast. So we only get to use the choices that are given to us, and that's how we'll wrap this bad boy up. And along the way, I'm guessing with the list of characters we have about to be on this with us, we are going to have a wide variety of songs. I have no idea what they are. I will stress that. Yeah. John and I do not know anybody's picks, so we are operating on the fly.
Wait a minute now. You're telling me that we have to choose a Mount Rushmore from their picks, but what if all their picks suck? What am I going to do?
Then I guess we got to limp our way through horseshit songs, and this party will end abruptly, and I'll probably start flipping tables around 10 o'clock tonight.
You know what? We can do that because we've limped our way through a lot of these podcast episodes. We're good at that.
Yeah!
Well, whenever I always have to see your face on this screen, so the word limp is very appropriate.
Come on now.
Anyway, we are going to start with kind of a hot tamale right out of the gate, by the way. And I'm looking at her. I can't wait. She's kind of the mouth of the South, even though she's not from the South. And I am going to introduce her. She is one of the sports moms. I adore her. She's one of the best. Her son is Bradley O'Keefe, a.k.a. B-Rad. I give you the one and only Shelby O'Keefe.
Well, thank you. That was quite an introduction. I don't know if I can live up to that.
Probably not, but don't worry.
No. I appreciate it.
So now, Shelby, I just know Shelby enough to know she's had her share of partying under her belt. Call it a hunch.
You are absolutely correct. I have had way more parties than I want to talk about.
I am so dying to know what you're going to come out of the gate with, because again, like I said, everyone has their little virtual coin to plug the ultimate party song jukebox.
This was hard, Mark. This was really hard. I mean, I did take a long time to think about this, but my ride or die song, I think, to get people going is this one, and I don't know if you'll agree with me because I'm not a Gen Xer. I'm a little bit younger than y'all. So,
Oh boy.
but Rough Riders by DMX, I feel like
Ooh, the
it could
anthem.
get
Stop, drop, shut them down, open up shop. Oh, no, that's how Rough Riders roll. Stop.
it could get a party started. I feel like I put that on and we got people dancing, twerking, or whatnot.
Whoa.
So yeah, that was probably for me. It was probably just entering in high school. Great memories with my friends at a party. Yeah, so it'll get you going. I'm for sure on that one.
Well, that's a good pick right out of the gate. That's a party song, and it's I mean, when you mention getting people twerking, hey, I'm on board. If a song gets people twerking, well, what?
The right people twerking.
Yeah, that can go down a bad path real quick.
Well, let's just start with people twerking, then we'll make a decision whether they're the right people or not after the fact. I
There
guess.
you go.
We'll see
There
how
you
that
go.
goes.
I love this pick. I love DMX, by the way. But this was definitely a song, throughout my 20s and into my 30s when I was hitting bars and house parties a lot. I would hear DMX an awful lot, especially the Rough Rider anthem. It's a badass song.
It is. It is.
I knew,
totally.
I knew you weren't going to disappoint, Shelby, and way to get this thing off on the right pace.
Glad to not disappoint.
Nice.
Thank you. Do you have any specific stories of when you remember hearing this song?
That I can share.
That you can
Woo!
Uh-oh.
No, it just reminds me of high school, and then it still was probably even going when I was entering in college and hitting up the clubs. Yeah, it brings back such good memories of just having fun, carefree, not a worry in the world, not working, not being an adult. So everything comes back.
The beauty of music, especially party songs, because they're nostalgic. They do any party song I bet we hear tonight is clearly going to make people think of when they were younger. You know?
I can't wait to hear the rest of the songs.
Because again, once we become parents, we got to tame her down a little bit. And with some of you, I'm not sure you got that memo quite yet, but we'll find out soon.
Not me, Mark.
Nice.
No, I couldn't have thought of a better person to kick it off. And like I said, right out of the gate, a big swing with DMX. That's badass.
Knocked it out of the park.
Very cool.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Shelby. So, okay, the next guest we have, he is the father of one of my baseball studs, Abe Hansen, a.k.a. Abe, a.k.a. AB Baby. This is Josh Hansen. Now, Josh has been listening to our podcast since Jump Street, John, and he really knows what we're up to here. And I know he was one of these guys, like all of us, and like you and I week to week. I know he was struggling to narrow down his favorite ultimate party song to one pick. So, and again, these guys had a long time. Every one of these parents that we're going to have on, they had plenty of time to pick one song.
Having a lot of time does not make it easier either.
It does not.
It actually can mess things up.
But I will say that Josh probably already has a leg up over everybody else because he's got a cool last name. So I got to hand that to him.
Thank you, sir.
I knew there was going to be a built-in bias, and
Right.
I believe, if I remember, his wife Daisha is going to follow him. So
Okay.
we got
Look at it. Star next to their names.
I'm surrounded by Hansons, and I can't get out.
Couple of great Hanson names.
Nice.
I can't wait to hear what is the party song you're plugging the jukebox with.
Well, it was tough. I went back and forth between a few of them. I chose the country song from Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places.
Boom. I knew we were going to hear this pick tonight. I just didn't know who would pick it.
Right. And I was worried about numerous people picking it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought we'd hear it for a couple of times, and we just might.
Right.
This is one of those songs that totally brings me back to the mid-90s, where any party I was ever at and this song comes on, everyone would start singing it.
Right.
Everybody would start singing it because it's such a beer drinking, cigarette smoking, just kind of anthem, and everyone would get behind it. This is such a good pick, dude. I'm glad.
Thank you.
So John and I, we're not country music dudes. No. So I literally had anxiety about this going into this recording and with this party, that like if there's a ton of country music that's labeled and given to us, John and I might be staring at each other going, what the hell are they talking about? But not Garth Brooks, baby. There isn't a bigger country star on planet Earth than Garth Brooks, as far as I'm concerned.
There's barely any stars on planet Earth bigger than Garth Brooks. I mean, he transcends any style of music for sure.
Right.
'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay.
What was it, John? In like it was the late 90s. Wasn't there a stretch where Garth Brooks sold out like 9 nights in a row at Target Center?
Yeah.
Is that a record?
There's still a plaque because obviously, I worked at the Target Center for the Timberwolves for 6 years, and I'd see the plaque in the Target Center lobby all the time of his honoring that because he set the record for the most sold out shows at Target Center. I don't know if that has ever been broken. It may never be broken.
Well, and that's one of to go back on your previous podcast, that's one of my concerts that I went to back in the day was Garth Brooks. And I wasn't a huge country song guy, but my girlfriend drugged me to it. And it was an amazing show. He did a good job.
Was it one of the shows at Target Center that we were just talking about? It was one of those nights?
You'd have been pretty young.
Yeah, I was 12, I think.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Wow. Very cool.
And I just picked up on a detail there. He was 12 and went to a Garth Brooks concert with his girlfriend.
Right.
Player.
Hey, now.
her mom and dad brought us.
Let the player play.
No, it was cool. And Garth Brooks, he's an awesome country singer.
He is awesome. And I've never seen him at concert. Even though I'm not necessarily a huge country guy, he is one that I would like to see sometime. You know what Garth Brooks should do is he should play at the Sphere in Vegas. That would be cool. That'd be a good place to see him.
Yes.
That'd be epic, man.
I have to watch for that. I'm going to put a call into Garth and get that done.
He didn't even write that song, too, as I was doing some research. So Friends in Low Places come from a couple of guys that he met as a shoe salesman. And their names were Dwayne Blackwell and Earl Bud Lee, who were good friends. And they had this song and met Garth Brooks, and he did demos with them later. And afterwards decided to use that song for his own. So,
wow.
That's very cool.
I love that. I didn't know that. Did you, John?
No, not at all. I think I had seen that he was not the person that wrote it, but that doesn't mean anything. And I didn't know that the little backstory. And I did not know that he was a shoe salesman, a little Al Bundy type.
Right. Didn't score 4 touchdowns, but he was selling shoes.
No.
You know who else sold shoes before they were huge? It's not music related, but Kevin Hart worked at a Foot Locker.
Oh, wow.
I love the pick, though, buddy. That is awesome. I was so dying, especially Josh, because I know Josh pretty well, and our kids have been playing baseball together now for several years. And I know Josh has a huge spectrum of musical interests. So I really didn't know if he was going to go metal, gangster rap, hip hop, country, polka. I don't know.
Right. It would have surprised me for polka, but you never know.
Hey, I've been to plenty of parties in my life where a polka song got the damn thing lit up.
Darn right.
Yeah.
9! No, I love the pick, buddy. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So our next guest here, John, she is the wife of our previous guest, Josh Hansen. I'm going to present to you Daisha Hansen. She's the mother of AB Baby, one of the baseball studs that I've had the privilege of coaching and getting to know over the years. And like Josh, Daisha has seen her share of parties. I can promise you that. And like Josh, I had no idea what kind of direction he was going to go with his song, what genre. So again, I'm just as eager and excited to hear everyone's picks as probably they are to reveal them. So without further ado, I present you Daisha Hansen, and I have no idea what direction she's going to go. So let's get that virtual coin out and plug the ultimate party song jukebox. Daisha, the stage is yours.
For me, my ultimate party song would be back in my early days, my clubbing days, if you will. I grew up in the era when clubbing was a thing. It was, to me, an anthem for girls in the early 2000s. It came out in 2003 from this artist's debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin'. My ultimate party song is In the Club.
I knew it.
You knew it.
Little fitty.
Yeah, 50 Cent.
Nice.
This is so awesome because, again, we're going to be bouncing around from genre to genre. And this is the ultimate. I mean, it's in the name, for F's sakes, in
Yeah.
the club.
In the
And
club,
you're
yeah.
right. This is one of those songs that if you're in a club or at a party and it comes on, no way that dance floor is going to be empty. That's for sure. And I can already tell, Daisha, you would be the first. You would be like sprinting
Yes.
to get to the dance floor.
Yes.
Find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Look, mommy, I got the X. I'm getting into taking drugs. I'm into having sex. I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug.
And this would happen after us girls would all pregame at somebody's house till 10 o'clock. Then we would go out to the club. Our club of choice was it used to be T-Birds, and then it was the Dive in Maplewood.
Oh, yeah.
That was where
yeah.
we would
Oh
go.
my God.
We know T-Birds very well.
Okay.
Sometimes known as the Bird. I think it changed
The
names over
Bird.
the years. So, yep.
Yep.
T-Birds was great. In fact, we've got stories about being kicked out of T-Birds, actually.
Oh, I think my husband might as well.
I was just thinking of that, John. I remember that specifically.
We got kicked out, and then we snuck back in and got kicked out again the same night, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a two for ones on getting thrown out.
One night.
And and Daisha, we tried it all. We name dropped. We tried to be big time because we were still both in radio. And because of the damage we had done that led to us getting thrown out, they didn't really seem to give a shit.
Do you want to elaborate on that at all, or maybe not?
I will elaborate. We were at an outdoor music like rock show down the road, right?
Yeah. Well, it was.
Do you remember that? See, this is horrible. I don't remember who.
Across the street, basically. But yeah, it was very.
Who were
close
we
by.
watching?
The outdoor rock show.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was a bunch of bands. It was like an outdoor festival, and we were there day drinking. Obviously, so we were
Best way to drink.
Yeah, we probably started
Correct.
at noon that day, and then we are at 10 o'clock at T-Birds. You know, after 10 hours of drinking, just being complete a-holes, and got tossed out. And then we snuck back. We probably did do the name drop thing, and that's how we got back in. But then the guy that tossed us saw us again and threw us out a second time.
I love it.
Oh my God. Yeah, to be young again. I really hope I'm never thrown out of another establishment. I feel like I'm getting too old for that nonsense.
I don't think we have to worry. I don't think either one of us are going to get thrown out of another bar.
I don't know though. I still have my moments. I'm not going to rule it out.
We're safe at someone's house at this point. Let's just do the things at someone's house.
That's the way it's got to be.
Well, you can always get thrown out of someone's house too, though, if you're too much.
That's true.
That's not a good
Possibly tonight.
We'll see what happens.
Once we're done recording this, I'm amping up my game, and it's going to get real quick with me. I can promise you that.
I was going to say, if any of the guests get thrown out of the party tonight, let me know because they will automatically be my winner for the party
Okay,
songs.
I'm on it.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
All right.
That sounds like a challenge to Daisha. Well, Daisha, thank you so much for being on the podcast, and just thank you again for letting me coach your son Abe.
Oh my gosh.
Your whole family. Hanson's biased because he shares your last name, but I just adore you guys. So thank you so much.
It's been such a wonderful time. We appreciate you so much.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Bye.
Great pick, by the way. Our next guest is a dad. He's coached with me for many years in baseball. He's one of the big coaches for a lot of these guys, a lot of our sons with football. He's got his son is named Cameron, and his nickname is Growth Spurt because Aaron's last name is Growth. I'm introducing the one and only Aaron Growth. So he's the next one to plug the virtual What is Your Ultimate Party Song jukebox. So Aaron Growth, you have the stage, my friend. What is your pick for the ultimate party song?
So my ultimate party song is Let Me Clear My Throat by DJ Cool.
That's great.
That was always the great party starter when I was in college. That song came out in 1996. I was in college. Would have been my junior and senior year. My best friend and a group of other friends of ours, they lived in a house in La Crosse, is where I went to college, La Crosse, Wisconsin. And I had two groups of friends that I hung out with. Friday nights was this group, and then Saturday nights I hung out with a different group. But every Friday night they had a house party at the Snake Pit.
Ooh.
And I would go there every Friday night and party with them in the basement. And when this song came on, it was like, let's go.
Some of y'all might get with this, and some of y'all won't, but listen.
Let me clear my throat. Oh, have mercy, babe. Ha! I hope you don't mind. Let me clear my throat. Special dedication going out to everybody.
This is such an awesome song because in the generation that you would have been going to college, I was working with John at KDWB. So we worked in downtown Minneapolis. And because of my age, going clubbing was very common. That was like a staple club song. And you're right. Even when that song comes on now, and I haven't probably actually heard it in at least 5 years, I'm betting, actually hear it. But if it came on right now, it would automatically put me in a good mood. And I'd feel like, where's the shots?
Exactly.
Yeah. You're right. And I guarantee you, too, that if that song came on even in a club today, that even young people would get into it because it's kind of it's got a timeless beat. I think younger people would probably still like that song.
And again, it's kind of got that anthem vibe. There's such a common theme of what I'm seeing here, of what we've heard so far. They're very anthem-y to get a crowd behind it.
Yeah, it was always fun. And that whenever I would go there, it was just such a fun place because they would sell shots in their bar, and it was $1 a shot, 3 for $2, and free shots for those who showed their boobs.
Did you show yours?
Hey, baby.
So I always made sure that I worked behind the bar on those nights. So I got all the prime visuals.
Well, when you first said that the place that you went to and partied the most at was called the Snake Pit, I really was like, okay, what song is he going to throw at us? Is it going to be from Slash?
So I have a weird question. So if you had a group of friends you went with on Fridays and a whole different group on Saturdays, did they each wonder where the hell you were on the opposite night? How come we never see him on Fridays?
No, because I think they all kind of knew.
Oh.
The other real question then, too, I have for you is, would the Saturday crew, would your song be different? Would it be like Celine Dion?
It's all coming back to me now. There were moments of
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm guessing the free shots for showing the boobs didn't happen on that night.
Probably not.
Poor Celine. Aaron, that's a great pick, bud. And again, I so appreciate you doing this. Thanks, bud.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
So as we keep rolling here, I'm excited. I cannot wait to hear what our next guest has picked for her ultimate party song and what her jukebox selection is going to be. Let me introduce everybody to Red Shoes' mom, Jordan Fierce. This is his mother, Steph Fierce. Do you go by Steph or I think I've always called you Steph. Do you prefer Stephanie?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Steph,
matter?
Stephanie. Some people just call me Joe. That's my middle name is Joe.
Stephanie Joe.
Matter. Stephanie Joe. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that might be your new name moving forward with me.
There you go.
So again, we've had some doozies here already of what songs have been selected where I didn't see them coming from who picked what. And I have a feeling you're going to shock me. And I can't wait to hear what you're going to plug the jukebox with.
A few weeks ago, I had 2 songs picked out, and I was for sure going to go with one of those. But then I went to Carlos Creek Winery up in Alexandria. Have you ever been there?
I've been there. Absolutely.
They have a grape stomp, and I go with a bunch of ladies. This is my 3rd year going. And as I'm thinking about my songs, the band came on and started to play Mustang Sally.
Wow.
And I have never seen so many people of all age groups run up there and start dancing. Now, it was later in the day, so there was a lot of wine that had already been consumed that day.
That plays a part.
But I saw so many people just run to the dance floor, and it was outside. And that's why I decided on this song. It's probably your oldest song that you have.
What a unique pick.
That's a great song, though. I love that song by Wilson Pickett.
Wilson Pickett, 1967.
Mustang Sally. Guess you better slow your Mustang down. Oh, Lord.
Wow.
God, that is 67. I have a feeling you might take the cake there on the oldest song that we're going to hear.
I think so.
What a great pick.
Probably, but it is a great song. And, I used to have a Mustang, as Mark knows, and my Mustang's name was, of course, Sally. It has to be.
Oh,
right.
you cliche bastard.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, it was Sally.
Sally, all right.
I had that car for more than 20 years. I felt a little bit of a tear fell my eye when I traded that sucker in.
Which Mustang?
Well, my black 2001 GT.
I remember that car very well. So Stephanie Joe, you said you were at a grape stomp. Now it's
Yes.
funny. As soon as I hear or visualize grape stomp, this is going to sound dumb, so just deal with it, I guess. Whenever I think of that, I think of the movie Pretty Woman. It's when Julia Roberts is watching I Love Lucy, stomp around and make all her goofy faces. And when you went to a grape stomp, I'm assuming, is it safe to say, did you get like barefooted and stomp around on grapes?
So I did not, but I do have two friends that have competed every year since we've been there.
Oh, wow.
And there's
Competed? What's that mean?
it's a competition. Whoever can fill their bucket to the line first gets to go on to the championship heat, and that will win you a case of wine.
Wow. So you're basically, if you have really big feet, you're going to do pretty well at this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole strategy. You have to have the right people. There's one that gets all the juice and puts it in the bucket, and there's one stomper, and it's a whole strategy. And then you have your team cheering you on. So we've never had the opportunity to win the case of wine, but we keep trying every year.
What a cool song. Wow. I didn't know we were going to be going back to the mid to late 70s. What a cool pick.
60s, dude.
60s.
I wrote down 67 and I'm dyslexic, so I said 70s.
What the hell are you doing? Have another one.
Oh, I will. And I am going to backtrack one quick second. So Stephanie Joe is the mother of one of my baseball players, Jordan, who's a stud. And he's, God, has he come a long way. But the reason we call him Red Shoes, John, is every year that he's been playing traveling baseball, he's the only kid on the team that wears red cleats.
Well, that would be an appropriate nickname, wouldn't it?
And
It's been many years of that.
And I will sneak in Jordache from Jordache Jeans every now and again.
Yes.
Well, Steph, that was an awesome pick. I know you were, again, I see a lot of these people, John, like every, week in and week out, especially coming out of a baseball season. And because every parent here that's going to be a guest, they've had a long time to decide what their song was going to be. And I personally know Steph was struggling.
Yes, I was. It was a lot of pressure, but the grape stomp just solidified it. And
I love it.
The dancing and the wine on the shirts, it just made it happen. So
the visual of the grape stomp gave you 2 extra points on my tally.
All right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well played, Steph.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again for doing this. You rock.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
Gross. That's
what happened.
Gross.
I know.
That's gross.
Gross.
And knowing John, he will not edit that out. So your segment gets a belch.
Have some manners, would you?
She needs to be on more often because he needs manners. Mark is.
He does.
Mark is.
I agree.
He's uncouth.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, having her on more. Well, let me get to it though, because our next guest. No, seriously, she's like my wingman when it comes to my baseball season.
Wing woman, let's be clear.
Wing woman. She is my wing woman because she is my team manager, John, for the baseball team.
Nice.
And she handles all the clerical stuff, all the stuff that I just don't want to deal with. The momager of the Champlin Park Rebel baseball team. And she also does it, for several other teams.
I do.
But I'm not going to give them any plugs right now. Screw that. But I'm going to introduce, this is Keldon Martin's mom, Amanda Martin.
Hello.
Oh,
yeah, but I do that for a reason, Mark. I do that because I want you guys to be able to coach. Like, you should be able to coach, and I can do the admin stupid stuff.
Just like let the players play.
Let the players play, right? Yes. Nice to meet you, John. I've heard a lot about you from Mark. Nice to meet you.
Oh, well, don't listen. Don't listen to him, please.
No, she doesn't.
Can't all be true.
No, it can't all be true.
Amanda looks to be our 6th guest of the evening here so far. And she's one of these that I know she went to college. She went to Mankato, so I know she partied. And I know her husband, so I really know she partied. And he's going to be on here in a little bit as well. But Amanda Martin, I am dying to know what your ultimate party song is, and what are you going to plug the jukebox with?
So it's funny you bring up the whole Mankato part of my life. It's Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize. And the reason is because I went to a bit of a suitcase college where I had to drive back and forth. Well, I didn't have to. I chose to. I would drive back and forth from home in Robbinsdale to Mankato, and I would listen to that CD. We didn't have we were beyond tapes at that point, but it was a CD, and I would listen to that all the way from Minneapolis to Mankato.
The same song or just that?
No, the
okay.
whole album.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. But that's definitely one of my favorite songs of all of it.
It's a great song, and that's one of the songs. Mark and I worked together in radio until we met at KDWB, and that is square in the heart of our KDWB days, man. I remember that we played the heck out of that song.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broken. You're so fake. Biggie, 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 can't you see?
When you were going to Mankato, you drove every day from Robbinsdale?
No. I would go home to Robbinsdale on Friday, party with my friends at the University of Minnesota, and then either Sunday night or Monday morning before class, I would drive back to Mankato.
Yeah, she came home to do laundry, basically, right?
And shop in my parents' cupboards. Yes.
Oh yeah.
After they had just taken me grocery shopping.
And I will go now. So now back to your pick. Now John is right. This was like in the teeth of when him and I worked in Top 40 radio, and clearly the Notorious B.I.G. was huge.
Yes.
And like a pick that we heard earlier from one of our other fellow colleague parents, this brings me so back to the nightclub scene, because there's not a night you're going to go by back then. You know, this is what, late 90s, early 2000s, possibly mid 2000s?
It was actually early 2000s. Yeah, it was early 2000s because I started college, oh my God, so embarrassing, in 1998 and graduated in 2002. But yes, he was big about then. Several albums, and I don't even know what year he was murdered, but I do know one unfortunate part is he's friends with Diddy, and that's a whole other topic of what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's a little topical right now.
Yeah,
we can let him. We'll let him off the hook for that. They collaborated, and Diddy was his producer and all that. And he actually, I think he died in like 97 or '98. So you were listening to him well after he died, then in college.
And he had a lot of albums released actually after he died.
Yeah, he did.
He had a lot of music. I can only imagine what Faith Evans, his wife, had, like the royalties that she received after he died from all of his albums, because they put albums together after he did die. And Ellis would say that Tupac was better than B.I.G., which I disagree. So Ellis is a big Tupac fan.
That is an argument for another day.
I know, it really is. It really is, yeah.
Wow. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get myself involved in that argument, because I don't necessarily know a whole hell of a lot about either one of them, to be honest, other than they're both dead.
East Coast, West Coast. John's already nervous. He's got too many things to look out over his shoulder about. He doesn't need to get involved in the East Coast, West Coast gangster rap thing.
That's why I had to leave Minnesota. Got chased
out. It was too dangerous for your lifestyle? Or?
Yeah. I grew up in North Minneapolis. It's scary. It scary stuff.
I mean, that's fair. Robbinsdale's not far from there, John.
Oh, I know Robbinsdale very well. I've hung out there a lot. I'm old enough to remember the Terrace Theater in Robbinsdale.
Yes.
Ooh.
And now it's a high V. It's a high V. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was.
Wasn't that like the last place to go for like a cheap movie before it finally closed?
Yeah, it went to from regular movies to $4 movies. Yeah. And then I think it had some sort of infestation of bugs or rats or something. I don't even know if that's true. Maybe I dreamt it. I don't know. But
not good.
It was a place. It got tore down. It was not up to health code. So
it could have been bugs. It could have been roach. It could have been roach clips, based on my experience there.
Oh, that's not, no, yuck. No roach clips. Mark, maybe it was you who was leaving them there.
Roach clips.
It's possible.
Well, Amanda, you didn't disappoint. That song's badass. And you just, again, as we continue to hear every pick, it's getting that much more complicated of how on earth are John and I going to only come up with 4 from this list, because this is like a damn, every song I would party hard to.
They are really good songs. Yeah. And my feelings will be hurt if at least one of you don't choose it. I just want you to know.
I knew you were going to throw, leave it to you to put like a personal, you'll be offended, you'll be hurt.
Yeah. My feelings will be hurt. For how many hours we spend planning for our damn baseball team, if you don't choose my song, I might not be your manager next year, and you can
Oh
figure
my
it out
God. Now I'm
yourself.
being blackmailed on my own podcast. There's evidence.
decide how
We're
you-
recording this.
You decide how you want to handle that. That's on you. So
Well,
whether you or your friend want to choose my song,
Well, I'll tell you
Up to
what.
you.
I'll tell you what. His friend would not choose a song strictly because it'd be fun to stir up some drama between you two. Actually, now that I think about it,
I mean,
Even even though I like
Yeah.
this, actually, I do like that song, but it'd be fun to stir up the drama. So maybe I won't pick it for that
Up
reason.
to
I
you
don't know.
too. How do you handle that? But
Thanks, Amanda, for
Okay.
fanning
Yeah.
that flame.
You're welcome.
Great pick, Amanda. And just publicly thank you for being truly my team manager. And we've become good
Absolutely.
friends because of it.
We
So
have.
I appreciate you. And I
We've talked a
appreciate
lot
you.
about your podcast and everything. Yeah, we've become really good friends. I don't know if you know this, John, but Mark and I both have this talent of talking. So him and I could talk for hours. I mean, there's whether it be baseball, basketball, any topic.
You should start a podcast yourself, either with him or on your own.
Good idea.
Yeah, just do
It's
it.
a great idea.
Everybody's
Yeah,
got
that
them
way
these
I can
days.
go on it and blackmail you.
Great. Wonderful.
Amanda
Yeah.
Martin, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
I will see you when this is all done, and I will be drinking heavily.
Sounds good. I got a spicy margarita waiting for you for sure.
So our next loyal listener of this podcast is now the father of said Red Shoes, who I referenced earlier. This is Mark Fierst of Mark Fierst Photography, I might add. So if you need a photographer for your wedding, if you need him for your senior photos, or you need new family fall photos, this is the dude. Trust me. I've seen his work. It's phenomenal. But I can't wait, though, to hear. This dude, John, is a nut. I've gotten to know him really well over the years now, and he's absolutely crazy in every good way possible. And again, his name is Mark Fierst, and I cannot wait to hear what he's going to put in the jukebox to plug the ultimate party song. Mark Fierst, you have the floor.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Yeah, your podcast is awesome. Listen to it every week. I try and put my my thoughts on before I even listen to your episode, so my list isn't tainted
Nice.
by your opinions. But yeah, so
Since you said that, do you ever put your list out there and then you hear it and think, "Oh man, I got to change my list because they said something that I should have had on my list"? Does that ever happen to you, or do you listen to ours and think, these guys are idiots? My list is way better than either one of them.
no,
Because that's what I think when I listen to it.
Wait a minute.
Whoops.
That's not funny.
maybe I've added an honorable mention, but
Yeah.
the only one that I watched first was the songs that tell a story, because I was really lost there, and so I needed some ideas and listened to
Yeah.
the podcast and kind of open up the floodgates. So
It's that was one of my favorite episodes. I love that episode.
yeah, really good. Well, this song, I'll leave you in suspense here. This song spent 3 weeks at number one in the spring of 1984. It is
Okay.
on an album that spent 7 weeks at number one on the Billboard charts. It's a album that had appeared on one of your previous
I think I know where he's
podcasts
going. I know where you're going.
for movie soundtracks, and that song is Footloose.
Yep.
And Footloose was on my list of movie soundtracks, Mount Rushmore of movie soundtracks. Mark had mentioned that I am a wedding photographer. Actually, I've not done a wedding in a couple of years, but I've been to over 350 weddings in the past 10 years, and this is one song that gets people up out of their seats, gets them on the dance floor. I text one of my good friends, Mark Haugen, who's one of the better DJs, one of the best DJs in the Twin Cities, and asked him where he would put Footloose, and he said that would be on his top 10 of wedding songs to get people up and get the party started. And so did a little bit of a deep dive here. Found an article in Rolling Stone written by Kurt Loder.
Yes.
You guys probably know who Kurt
MTV.
Loder. Yeah.
MTV News.
The quote, Footloose represents a seminal moment, not only in music and movie history, but in the conscience of American culture. Its importance is embedded in the underlying message that the joy of music transcends ideology. Music brings people together of all backgrounds, beliefs, and religions. What the protagonist, Ren McCormick, was fighting for was not the right to dance, but the fundamental right to celebrate, to party.
Yeah.
And therefore, it should be placed on the Mount Rushmore of party songs.
Yes.
Actually,
Wow.
That's not his quote. I just made that up.
Oh, you added that part. Oh.
I added everything up. That
No.
really stems from my thought of like why this is important, because one, it's a great song. It's a party song, but the whole point of Footloose is that this town, these kids in high school could not party, could not dance because of, you all know the story of Footloose, and so the whole idea of Footloose is that they now have the chance and the right to party. Oh God, I can't believe I did that.
Absolutely leaving that in too. Not a chance that's edited.
Now I gotta cut loose, foot loose, kicked off the Sunday shoes. Please, Louise.
What I love about that pick is that you sell it. You're selling it to us because at the end of the day, we have to pick which ones we're choosing for our Mount Rushmore, and and everybody has their reasons about why we should be picking their songs, and you really sold that one as far as with finding the quote and everything, and the article and all that stuff. So that's cool.
To be clear, I made up everything.
Oh, the whole thing?
The whole thing. No, it was the number one song, the album, all that kind of stuff. But the quote by Kurt Loder never said any of that. Yeah, I just made that up to try and
hook, line, and sinker.
Yep. Well, that's okay. So maybe you're not winning. Maybe you're not going to win now. I don't know.
But now that he's made us both look like ass hats on our own podcast.
Well, that's really not hard to do.
No. You just have to join us.
Yeah, we do that weekly anyway.
And I have my soft spot, as I've mentioned many times in previous episodes. I like me some Kenny Loggins, man. So damn it, this is going to be hard to pick.
Many soft spots. One of many soft spots.
Yeah, especially in the middle.
We have a really good list here going. I can't wait to be put on the spot to narrow it down to 4, kind of in live time, which we've never done before. So, Well done, Mr. Mark Fierst.
Thank you very much, guys, and happy podcasting.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
See, Mark is one of our guys, John. We really should just get a T-shirt made for him because I know he would proudly wear it around our community. I have a hunch.
Well, that would be one.
We're on the board with one.
That'd be one person wearing it.
Yeah, I'll wear it.
That's great.
No, but in all seriousness, though, Mark, for real, though, we do appreciate you. I mean, you've been supporting this kind of since Jump Street, so seriously, much love on that because we have no plan to stop this, and especially after doing an episode like this, where I'm now bringing in like all the sports families into our little world and sharing that world now with our podcast audience. So, thanks for being a part of it, dude.
Share us with people that have no care who we are.
Well, welcome to the club. No one cares about who John and I are either.
No, including our own families. I could barely get my wife to listen to half of these episodes.
Oh, man. Mark, you're the man, buddy. Thanks for being on. I don't know. Footloose, it's going to be a hard one to not pay attention to when the decision making is needed.
Oh, yeah.
This poor guy, Travis, do you have any idea what we just witnessed? Now, Travis Perkins, DJ Travis Perkins, is our next guest, by the way.
Hello.
And he is recording from his owner's suite in his home because he's the host of this podcast party tonight. And what John and I were witnessing as we were waiting for you to join is someone just ran through the shot yelling, "I need toilet paper."
Yes,
and
that was Beavis looking for TP for her bungholio.
And John is on point. Who shits at another person's house party?
Yeah.
What kind of savages did we invite over here tonight?
Take care of that.
Unfortunately, that was my wife. My wife, yes. There was a TP emergency.
It was that pulled pork, wasn't it?
Well, it is greasy.
You forgot to check the temp.
It's very rich.
Yeah. I love it.
No, okay. This is a real true introduction. So our next guest here is DJ Travis Perkins. It's his house we're at. We are live. I'm going to remind everybody, I am live at the Perkins Roadside Motor Lounge and Pub and he is the host of this debacle we're calling a podcast party. But I have a feeling we're going to pull through. But again, this is a place that I have had so many adult beverages in the last like 6 to 12 months. I smoke a ton of cigars in the very place I'm sitting right now as we record. But Travis has a special place in my heart because of even the topic we're doing, where we're going to ask him to plug the Ultimate Party Jukebox. I have to go on a tangent here because Travis and I have a story about he helped me, and he's the inspiration to why I bought an old 100 disc authentic CD jukebox that I now have in my home office. And right behind me is his in his party garage here. And it was one night we're here, we're pretty greased, and I was fascinated by his jukebox, and it was within 2 weeks.
Pretty much, yeah. It was love at first sight and love at first sound.
It really was, man.
Yes.
And we had a couple different little adventures to go out and find me one. Yeah. So Travis, man, I know you're a huge music lover. I know that about you. It's one of the things I definitely have grown to love about you. Now, Travis, his son, plays on the baseball team too. I have referenced his son on this podcast before because I gave his son the nickname that I hope lasts and sticks with him. His son is Hacksaw Jack Perkins, a.k.a. Hacksaw. And he's just a gamer. I love the kid. I can definitely see where the apple didn't fall far from the tree. So what is your number one choice for the Ultimate Party song, my friend?
Prince, Pussy Control.
Whoa!
And I guarantee you didn't see that coming, did you, Mark?
I did not see that coming.
And I do want to reference, this was a tricky one. This one really set me back, and that's with a wink. I went in today with 4 or 5 songs, and it had these epiphany of Prince Pussy Control is a song that no matter where you're at, whether it's a bar or a wedding or wherever, everybody always says, oh my God, I forgot about this song, but this song is epic. Halloween party, a bar, a wedding, everybody, and they're like, shit, this is a banger.
You ready?
My God, man. Here's why I love this pick. Mm-hmm. I can promise you, though, of all the songs that did go through my head of what I might hear tonight, Pussy Control by Prince, not one of them. But God, am I glad it came out of your mouth, my friend.
And that's when I had this epiphany. I'm like, oh my God. I told my wife, who was the manager of this whole ordeal, I'm like, yep, scratch the other 4 I had on my list. This is number 1.
Somehow my wife, Molly, she got word of what your song was, and she would not tell me, and I didn't want to know. All she would say is, Travis is going to make you laugh with his pick. But knowing you, I'm like, well, what does that mean? 2 Live Crew?
Well, yeah, I had a handful of just traditional ones that are always great. I had the Beastie Boys, Girls, the Cypress Hill, Jump Around, all the usual goodies, of course. But this one is just unique in a way that I knew nobody was going to have it, and it just always puts a smile on my face.
It's an unbelievable pick because of the uniqueness of it.
Exactly.
Like I said, I went to pull this out of a hat, but I'm so glad you did. And it does bring me back to that era in my life, which you, Travis, and I have talked an awful lot about over our cigars, is all the time that I used to spend downtown in Minneapolis going to clubs. This is one of those staple songs that you're not going to be at a Minneapolis nightclub without hearing this, especially because it's Prince.
Exactly. And that was just it. We bring it back to the late 90s of any club off of Hennepin or First Avenue, Second Avenue, all, the stuff, the whole Butler Square area, Mark. John, you know that.
Yep.
It was played at one bar at least once a night.
So we've referenced the purple one many times on episodes over the 6 or 7 months we've been doing this. Prince is definitely a favorite of mine. So you're speaking to me with that. I love Prince.
So when John wasn't driving by Jesse the Body and him in his driveway with his tag team Continental Championship belts on, he would drive by Prince's house because John is a North Sider and he didn't grow up far from where Prince did.
No.
That's just awesome.
Just a few miles. Yeah, Prince. Yeah, that's awesome. Great pick. I love it.
Anson, I think you might have just got buttered up there with that Prince pick. I have a feeling. Call it a hunch.
Yeah, it's possible.
But in all seriousness, though, DJ Travis Perkins, thank you so much for hosting this shindig tonight.
It's definitely my pleasure, my honor.
You're the man, dude. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Travis.
Immediately, how appropriate, too, that our next guest is now DJ Travis Perkins' wife, Angie Perkins. And she, I will be honest, she is the one that truly helped orchestrate this whole damn mess tonight of us trying to put together a podcast party. And somehow, so far, I think we've actually pulled it off. And this is crazy.
It's amazing.
And again, the songs, and I know you know some of these songs. This is going to be really hard to pick for. And you, like Travis, you guys are, again, you're huge music fans.
That's huge.
What are you going to put in the virtual ultimate party song jukebox? The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, my song is American Girl by Tom Petty.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, my initial reaction to this song was because I used to run marathons, and my first half marathon, I crossed the line to this song, and it was like, oh my God, like I couldn't stop singing the song. And now when I hear the song all the time, like it just brings back that vibe. And
I love that you took something that was like a moment for you, like an accomplishment, like an empowering moment, and only you can parlay that into turning it into a party song. One minute you're finishing a half marathon, the next minute you're 3 sheets to the wind in your garage with your arms in the air, listening to Tom Petty.
It makes me think like you've seen that before, Mark.
I've heard stories, and I had to sign every time I'm here. I have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and I'm starting to wonder why.
Yeah, no, I love it, and it's just one of those that it just gets my heart going every time. That just there's an accomplishment about it, and then I hear so much more about this song, and when everybody asks like, what's one artist you would have ever went to, like, or one concert, and he would be the one if I could, dead or alive, like he would have been the one, and I never got to see him. 100%, I would have went to that concert and I mean, there's so many Free Fallin', a lot of those songs, but
oh God, Learning to Fly. John and I we're huge Tom Petty fans. How can you not be? If you're an American and you don't like Tom Petty, you're a dick.
Yeah.
I know.
I saw Tom Petty once in concert, and at that concert, we got to meet him. And I have behind me, I have a signed record from Tom Petty. So meeting him and his whole band, it was one of the coolest things I've ever done, because he is one of my top 5 of all time. I love Tom Petty.
It's so different from every song we've heard. Like you're in like your own category right now, and I think that's awfully cool. And it's also really appropriate because I knew you were going to come at us with something that I wouldn't see coming. And that made me nervous, excited, and scared, and all of the above. Well, I didn't know. Like I know you have such a wide variety of like tastes when it comes to your music. I had no idea.
I love going and dancing. Mark, I know you've seen me out and about. I love to dance, and nobody will play Tom Petty for me because they always say like he has a different range in his voice, and they will never play American Girl. So when I find a singer that will play American Girl for me, I am just like living life, and like that's it.
Well, she was an American girl, raised on promises. She couldn't help thinking.
But my one fact though for Tom Petty, do you know that Tom Petty played in 2017? He played at the Hollywood Bowl. It was his last song, and then he died. That was his last song he ever played.
American Girl was?
Yes, it said his last song performed was in September 2017 at the Hollywood Bowl, and then he died on October 2nd.
Yeah, I knew he had just finished a tour when he died.
It literally was the last song he played.
Man,
so there you go. If you like those facts.
Those are facts.
We love facts. We love.
I know you do because I listen to you guys. I know you like your facts, and that's a good fact.
Just so you know, half the facts that we spit out in our podcast are not true. Just so you know, we make a lot of stuff up.
Well, this one's true.
Okay.
This one is true.
When I
I'm
said-
telling you.
All right.
No, if people started to fact check us, it would be a full-time job.
I would never fact check anything. I just believe everything you guys say. You guys are amazing.
Another little fact about that song, in a very pivotal moment in Silence of the Lambs, too, if you remember.
Oh my
the
God,
movie.
I missed that. Yes, Silence of the Lamb and Fast Times at Ridgemount High.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
There you go. I missed that too. Yes, Silence of the Lambs when she was just like in the car and it was just like she was an American. Yeah. Oh my God, I just love it so much.
This is not an American Girl reference, but it's also another scene in a movie in Jerry Maguire when Tom Cruise is singing another Tom Petty song.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Free Falling.
there you go. I love this pick, Angie. And I really want to thank you, though, for letting us maniacs take over your home to do this.
Oh my
tonight.
God.
It's
You know
so
what?
fun.
I love being on this, but I'm excited to get out there too because it's a fun time out there. And I was going to tell you, John, like I've never seen you before. I'm super excited to meet you. But if you ever come to Minnesota, we will have a party. 100%. I'll host it. Come on over.
I'm there every summer for like 6 weeks, and I was up there also for like 6 weeks last summer. And Mark never invited me to any parties, so I don't know what the
Come
hell.
on.
This is
Because he's too busy coaching baseball.
Oh yeah, well that's true. That's true.
That
Well,
and just shame.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. Yeah, well, there's that. There is.
Well,
that.
John,
Well-
now I have your email, so I will.
There you go.
I'll
Now
just
you
email you
can,
separate.
perfect.
Ooh.
Because
Oh,
oh yeah, go around, Mark. But and you
All
know,
right.
and I know Mark's busy in the summer with baseball, and I can be honest with you, I'm never coming back to Minnesota in the winter. So it's not.
I don't
will-
blame you.
That's the reason I left.
Why
Yes.
would you come back here?
Nope,
Okay.
I will only visit in the summers.
Good to see you. I will send the next person in.
Awesome. Thanks, Ange. This is going to be exciting because this is a guy that I got to know really well this past spring and summer because he was a brand new baseball coach with me, and he was part of that group from some of the Brooklyn Park dudes that came over, and a lot of new coaches joined me. And I'm excited to see what he's going to come up with because he strikes me as someone who has a huge catalog of music that he's probably going to draw from, a ton of life experience. And I'm going to present, ladies and gentlemen, that this is Paul Burns. He is the father of Cooper Burns, aka Sideburns. So, Paul, you have the mic, my friend.
Thank you. Well, I picked what I think is one of the greatest party bands. It was the B-52s, Love Shack.
Wow.
I love this pick.
They have so many good songs that most people don't know. So if it was everybody trying to get involved, I'm picking Love Shack because that's the song everybody knows.
That's the mainstream one. Yeah.
That is the mainstream one. There's so many better songs, but that's the one that most people would probably know. I mean, I've loved the B-52s for a long time. In fact, it was the first song played at our wedding.
Was it
Wow.
really?
Rock Lobster.
Nice.
After the dance with my mom, Liesel picked it. She knew I liked it, so it was Rock Lobster. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Very cool. Athens, Georgia's finest.
Absolutely. They're from Athens.
If you would have gave me a list of 100 songs, I don't think I would have been able to predict we'd be talking about the B-52s, which is why I love this pick so much.
If you see a faded sign at the side of the road that says 15 miles to the
And John, I don't know. I got to go into a quick story about the B-52s because I actually have one. And I'm curious, John, if this is something you remember.
Midway Stadium. You can say Midway.
Where the Saints used to play.
Mm-hmm.
We had our old like KDWB Skybox truck. Remember that? And we parked it. We used to do it for Saints games, but we also brought it to a B-52s concert. And it was such a beautiful night and such a fun concert because they're a party band.
Yeah.
100%. And this is one of those songs that if you're at a wedding, at a party, at a bar, and this song comes on, you're going to look around the room or the dance floor or wherever it is you're looking, and people are going to be going crazy. This is such a good pick.
It was hard. I had to narrow it down. Every day I pared it down a few, and And even tonight, I kept changing it in my head, but I said, no, I'll go with that because it's a great song.
Our weekly episodes are like that. Sometimes on the fly, Mark and I are trying to decide what to put on our Mount Rushmores and things. And you guys had to come up with one, which makes it that much harder.
Yeah.
And I don't envy that. But that's a great pick. And Love Shack's a solid song. I mean, it's a very popular, to this day, popular song. I always love the song Rome. That's my favorite song by B-52s.
Rome's a good one.
Yep, but Love Shack's probably the right pick because that's the one that everybody knows and it's the party song. At that Midway Stadium show, I'm drawing a blank. It was a double bill with another band. Do you remember who the other band was? I cannot remember who it was.
I remember hearing that. I didn't get to it, but I remember seeing the same thing.
I don't remember who it was, but here's my defense to that. I think B-52s did such an amazing job. It made me forget whoever opened for them.
Yeah. Well, it was another big band. It was like a double headline kind of thing. But
yeah.
But you're right though. B-52s were the one that was memorable because I don't remember the other one at all now. All these years later.
I don't either. It could have been one of the many nights we were overserved, and that might be why we don't remember it. Call me crazy. That's just a guess.
There is that.
But Paul, I appreciate you taking the time, one, to just be here. I appreciate the time you put in with the baseball team. So I want to publicly thank you. It was awesome. You know, the summer we just spent, we coached 66 games together, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait. Sky's the limit with this group. You're a big part of that. And I can't wait to see where that goes. But I can't wait to see John try to get through all these picks that we've been now presented. 6, 7, 8, 9. You're the 10th guest, and I'm already confused. And I think we have probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 more to go. And then that's a wrap.
At least 2 or 3.
We have to pick our 4.
Yeah. I mean, I can appreciate the pick from the '80s because I'm a child of the '80s. So that one hits home for me.
Good. Thanks for the kind words, Mark. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for being on here, buddy. Well, I'll get to it. Our next guest, her husband was on earlier, Aaron, and this is now the mother of Cameron Growth, aka Growth Spurt. This is Jamie Growth. Now, Jamie is very involved in all these young dudes' life. She's one of the basketball coaches. Like you heard earlier, her husband helped me coach for many, many years the baseball team, and I know she's going to have an interesting pick. I just can feel it in my guts. And go.
It's going to be the number 1. Okay. And actually, I don't know what my husband picked. So it'll be interesting to see if it is the same genre, but it is California Love by none other than Tupac.
Ooh. We are definitely having the West Coast, East Coast thing kind of brought back to the surface here tonight. So there could be gang violence after this episode concludes.
Yeah.
Because now I don't know. We're finding ourselves right in the middle of the East Coast, West Coast thing. And I love this song.
We got Tupac and we got Biggie. Both have are out there. So it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
This would so be close if we ever, which I'm sure we'll get to at some point, like a summer song. Mount Rushmore of your summer songs. California Love. Definitely would be right there for me, where I don't know how I would boot it off the top 4. But tell us, give me some specifics. Why is this song huge to you, Jamie?
Yeah, so it came out in 1995, so the year I graduated, but it was freshman year of college actually, so I'm a Midwest, Central Minnesota born and raised, right? Go up to Duluth, and I'm away from home for the first time. A lot of my music was maybe set, like I wasn't allowed to have some certain music played at my house when I was growing up. So all of a sudden I'm like introduced to like other genres, and I was like, this is great. This is super fun. So one of the songs was California Love, like house parties. And then eventually, like you're at the bars in Duluth. And so that is really where like all of a sudden I was like, I just thought it was a great jam. It was fun to dance to, just have a good time. And also when you talk about the summer, like as far as like summer songs, like loving like summer songs, we actually did have it. I can distinctly remember having it at our wedding. Playing, and we got married in July. So I totally agree. It's definitely a summer, like hit song. There was a time, not a mixtape, but there was a time that my husband made me a mix CD. Aww. And that was also on the mix CD of songs called Summer Songs, actually.
What a romantic, that guy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Such a good guy.
Like you, Jamie, I graduated in 95 too. So this is so my wheelhouse. And every time I think of this song, the first line that comes to my head is, as soon as I step on the scene, I hear the hoochie screaming. It's just such a vibe song, man. Like it's one, you can't listen to it on low volume. It's got to be turned up, and you're going to groove to it. This is this is going to be really tough on us, John.
Yeah. How are we going to make it? Exactly. Every time we have a new one, it's like, okay, now there's somebody else I got to consider here. Because as we've talked about in our podcast, I'm not necessarily big on hip hop and rap. However, if we did a Mount Rushmore of hip hop rap songs, California Love is 100% on my list because I do love that song. That's
hard not to.
It's definitely, and Tupac was great. He he was a true talent.
Sorry, I'm kind of speechless, Jamie, because it's starting to hit me that I don't know what I'm going to pick.
Mark mentioned the song being, almost 30 years old. I've been waiting almost 30 years for Mark to be speechless. So I want to thank you for that. I feel like it's my birthday.
John, we all have been waiting for Mark to be speechless. I understand.
Nice.
Easy, Jamie. You and I are both known to have a motor mouth, so there's only time.
What?
We said it earlier, and I'm sure you can guess who. I have a feeling you might be starting your own podcast at some point.
People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Is that what he's basically saying to you? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it is a great pick, and it fits on that summer song vibe. You mentioned it was at your wedding. Well, the word love is right in the title, so it's a love song, right?
Right. Totally. Yeah.
It checks a lot of boxes.
And not to mention, I do love me some California, for real. Like I just love California. Right? It's fun to be there.
All right.
Jamie, you rock.
Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Yep. Nice meeting you, John. All right, I'll get the next person.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah! Without further ado, our next guest, I can't wait to hear from him. He is truly one of the biggest characters of the group that's here tonight. He's a nut. He's crazy in a good way. I've gotten to know him so well over the years, and he's just a dog, man. And he is the father of Keldon, a.k.a. Chip Martin. And this is Ellis Martin, and his wife was on earlier, Amanda, who's my team manager.
Boo!
That's great.
Perfect. See, it's the right intro. I cannot wait for her. I hope you listen to this podcast with her, because I want to know the reaction.
Hey, no, please, John, edit that, please.
Nope.
Oh, hell no. That's between me and you guys, all right?
Hey, Ellis, who gave you the fat lip? Oh, never mind.
Ooh, man, that's a different level right there, dog, man.
Uh-oh.
Well, Ellis, man, a.k.a. Easy-E. I cannot wait to hear Ellis's pick, because this dude, he went to Mankato State. I know he knows how to party. I've partied with this man. And what song represents the ultimate party song for Ellis? I have no idea, but we're about to find out. So, Ellis, I'm going to give you your coin. Put it in the jukebox. What do you got, brother?
I got that Too Short, Blow the Whistle, baby.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
We're going to edit the song because it gets a little crazy, those vocals now.
It does, and we don't care. We don't have to worry about nothing here.
Is this NC-17 or we R-rated tonight?
It's NC-17 now with
you,
my friend.
Yeah, we all good then.
You just went next level. I love it. And I knew, why did I just know? I had a feeling you were going to go old school like this.
You know they can't play on my court, can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch, blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
When I think of Too Short, and I'll turn the mic back over to you, Ellis, because I want to hear why you picked it, obviously. But when I think of anything Too Short related, I think of my early years when I was in high school, and you're starting to put like subwoofers in your car, and you're starting to get amplifiers, and you're starting to really beef that thing up. Too Short is one of those rappers, man. He was one of those artists that you would play if you had legit stuff going on in your car.
Right, that part.
Yeah. Legit stuff.
Straight up.
So why you land of all the songs, man, that if you're going to go to a party or a bar and turn it up another level, what made you land on Too Short, Blow the Whistle?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, brothers, man. Too Short get the ladies right. You know what I mean? I mean, you throw that song, you throw anything, it's Too Short. If you see the females dancing to that, you know, hey, thumbs up. You're like, hey, she's about it.
They're not bubble gummers, man.
Yeah, hey, if they listen to Too Short, you know now. That makes it a lot easier on you.
I so know what you mean, and I so knew you weren't going to wander into this podcast and all of a sudden like hit us with some like Britney Spears bullshit.
No. Hey, we're in the club. You know, you know what fellas go to the club for now, man. Everybody know that. You ain't going there just to sit around and post up at the ledge or behind a totem pole or whatever. You trying to see something. Who's moving and grooving? You know what I mean?
So, like I said, John, earlier, man, Ellis he's been coaching baseball with me now for so many years, and he's just a good dude. Every single kid on the team, man, they adore this dude, and that's why all he does every time he speaks, you smile.
Hey, you got to bring that. You got to bring that good energy, man. You know that's what I'm about, man.
You bring that energy, man, and I so appreciate you. I so appreciate this pick.
I don't know who I'm going to pick for my 4 yet, but the one thing I do know for sure is we got to have Ellis on our podcast again.
I've told him
man.
this.
Hey, John, I've been telling this guy this the whole time. I say, dude, please get me on, man. Hey, whatever, baby, I'm here.
Yeah,
it could be anything. I love talking about the Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? I love it. A good idea. A good idea.
Ellis, I swear to God, I want you to hold not just me, even though, I get it. You and I see each other obviously more than John. John's out in Arizona getting sunburnt. And
hey, that's where I want to go when I retire, man. I love Arizona. Woo.
Well, there's your guy, man.
Love it.
But for real, Ellis, you need to hold my feet to the fire on this. You are going to be back as a guest on this podcast, and we're going to have a whole episode where us three just riff, and we're going to talk some nonsense. And we're going to talk some shit about whatever topic we come up with because I know it'll work, and I know people are going to love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I'm here for it too. Anytime, just let me know. You got to give me a heads up, though, dog. I need a little grace period. You know what I'm saying? Just don't throw it on me.
You got a prime.
John, what up, man? You know what I'm talking about, John.
I know.
Damn, I can get used to these podcasts, man. I feel like I'm a superstar here.
Oh, you're a natural.
You are, man. That's why we have to have you back on.
Hey, I'm here for I'm here for you guys. Just let me know.
You're the man. And I can't. When this does wrap up, you and I are going to go. We're going to meet up after this in about 20 minutes.
Man. Absolutely,
and we're going to discuss a few things.
Oh yeah, it's still early tonight, man. Hey, John, what is it there? What 7 o'clock in Arizona?
Yeah, we're 2 hours behind you. Yep.
Yeah, it's still early here
it's
too.
Still
we
early.
got time.
It's plenty early.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to play a little catch up too once I get off this microphone.
Yeah, a lot of catch up.
Yep, I think so.
You might have to. I might have to pause for you to catch up.
Yes. Everybody.
Hey, this was never a sprint; it's a marathon.
Pause myself. I got to pause myself. Okay, I got to wait for my guy.
Ellis, man, I love you, brother. I'm so glad you were here tonight.
Hey, nice to meet you too, John.
Nice meeting you, Ellis.
You cool Pete too, man. John, Mark has told me a lot about you, man. You said you real good.
I'll see you next summer when I'm up there.
Absolutely, man. I'm here.
Absolutely. Thanks,
All right,
Ellis.
brothers. All right, brothers. All right, take care.
So I'm gonna get to another new guest, and I'm so excited to have her on. This is Cooper Burns' mother, and she has become the baseball team's baker. And she does not disappoint. And there's not a game that goes by where she does not have something completely delicious that's freshly homemade waiting for the team and us punk ass coaches.
Get in my belly.
And I so look forward to this. And my waistline has not looked forward to it, but personally I am. I'm going to introduce Liesl Burns. Her husband was on earlier in this podcast, Paul Burns. and he hit us with a really unique song.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure he did.
that was
The
great.
pressure is now on you to follow up Paul's pick. And Liesl, I can't wait to hear what do you got up your sleeve. What are you going to put in the ultimate party song jukebox? Go.
Okay, well, I am a child of the 90s, a girl of the 90s, a young girl of the 90s. So, the New Kids on the Block Party is my song. Because I was kind of told, we should do what gets your party started, right? I have to say I had babies in 2011, 2013, the aforementioned one and another one. And the New Kids on the Block were my like really young 13-year-old dream. And they started touring again right after my first. So
Yeah.
we went to concerts, and that's why it just brought me back to being young. I didn't have to be a mom for a night. It was awesome.
So recently, I remember you going to see them recently. How
Yeah.
long ago was that?
They just had a concert this summer again, and I went last summer to Iowa State Fair to see them at there. That wasn't as fun. It was a lot of hot and craziness, but yeah, they've done it every 2 years. They've had a concert again since 2008. So maybe I went to
Wow.
my first before I had my first, but then yeah, by the time it came around again, I had my youngest. We were, 6 moms all either had pregnant or pumping in the back of pumping milk for our kids later that night in the back of a van. It was great.
Wow.
Now, I know I can speak for me, probably John too. I gotta guess, maybe not. John might have already went on to a different radio station. I have met Joey and I have met Jordan
Oh my God.
from the radio days. And so, Liesl, I knew you were going to come at us. I know you well enough to now know you have a real love for New Kids on the Block. So this does not surprise me. I was kind of just curious. I had a hunch, but I was really curious what song from them you were going to go with. Is this the song you you get the most energy from? Is this the one that just gets you? You're already going to be out of your seat, but is
Yeah.
this the one that really raises the arm hair on the arm?
I think so. I do for me. So they didn't come out with it until like, I don't know, 3 or 4 concerts in, but it's what started one of their concerts. And they do these big, like elaborate, crazy starts, which are awesome. Like one year, because, Donnie Wahlberg's on it, he did a like Blue Bloods intro because he's on Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that. And then this is what started one of them. And I think that like from that time on, yes, this is the one.
Welcome to the block party. We ain't leaving out nobody. We about to get it started. It's a block party, block party. Welcome to the block.
And I wouldn't ever think that. I would think they're old stuff, but they were kind of young, and I think that they didn't have a lot of like those really like get it started. That wasn't what the 90s were. And that's not what any of us 13-year-old girls wanted from, our crushes. We just wanted fun like girl love songs and, all of that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So what year did you graduate high school?
1997.
Okay, because I was
Yeah.
95, and when I think of New Kids on the Block, I just think of late 80s, early 90s. When I was younger, I just remember every girl that was in my grade that I might have had a crush on, they all had hard crushes on New Kids on the Block because they were just the thing, man.
New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys that was the second concert they came back. They did NKOTBSB. I mean, let's get clever here. NKOTBSB. And they kind of brought the Backstreet Boys back too, because then they did Las Vegas for a while. So I feel like they just keep bringing, one of their concerts, they actually opened again with Tiffany and Debbie Gibson. So I was able to see, them and springboard them out and, shockingly look the same and sound the same. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. The last one was Paula Abdul and DJ Jazzy Jeff. DJ Jazzy Jeff was okay. Paula Abdul was an amazing dancer.
I love this pick, Liesl, because it's so appropriate for you. And I didn't see this song coming, but you hitting us with New Kids on the Block, like I said, it's spot on.
Yeah. I know you were really young when you saw them initially. So how would you compare those early days when they were super young, obviously, to when you saw them recently? Was it very comparable, or do you remember one of them better than the other?
I mean, I think I appreciate them now more because they're, I think the first time I was younger too. I was pretty young at the time, like 9, but they were poppy. They were like fun to dance to. And that's what we got out of them. I mean, now they're just like, remind you that you're like not old and decrepit because these guys are half dressed, dancing like crazy, singing, we're losing our minds I came close to touching Joey in this last one. And I thought I was going to literally die because I did that. I mean, I know you said you met him and we got to talk about that more, but yeah, we pick our seats to see like, okay, if we see a picture, like
of the thing. Where are we gonna be the best able to see them again? It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Would the guys in New Kids on the Block be considered Gen Xers, or are they actually boomers?
They would be Gen Xers because,
Come
as
on.
you aforementioned, my husband, he's the last year of the boomer, and they are younger. Well, actually, you know what? I think the
See, I'm
oldest.
telling you, it's towing the line.
It's pretty close. They're right.
They're
with-
Gen Xers. Trust me, for crying out loud. A couple of them are like my age, for Christ's sake.
I don't think so, man. I think they're
Joey-
older than you
I
think.
think Joey is 51, and he's the youngest.
Is he 51?
I think he's
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was
I
like
feel
significantly the youngest. So that's why
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that. That's not that goofy ass of a question, man. If they're boomers,
Yeah,
They're
I
not
think they
boomers.
could-
They're not boomers. I'm not gonna. Nope. I can't accept that because they're not that much older than me.
you're
Well,
gonna make
it's
a
really-
ruling.
Yes.
Like Joey's kid travels, like he did one of the concerts with him. So he opened Joey's McIntyre's son, Griffin, opened for him one time. So I mean they've got it down. It's pretty awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Liesl, thank you so much for.
Awesome.
I know you had a busy day today and you had to hustle to get
Okay.
over to make this, but thanks for
Totally
being on the
worth it.
podcast and
Yeah.
just thanks for listening. I know you've checked these
Yeah.
out before, so we appreciate you. Believe
They're
me.
great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You better wrap it up.
Well, I don't mind. You know what? I don't mind having you back on, Ange. So thank you for rejoining as we
Yeah.
wrap up this bad boy, because now you will be the last person John and I talk to before we put our Mount Rushmore together and we make our top 4 picks of all the. Man, this is such a variety of songs. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So were you happy with the variety?
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah. Very much so.
Oh God, yeah. But seriously, Ange, thank you so much for letting John and I do this. This was
Oh, thank you.
such an experiment. I mean, think about it. We're not even. I think we're around like 40 episodes, give or take. I could be wrong.
God, that's crazy.
So we have no business attempting to do something this kind of grand, where we just had 12 or 13 guests on one podcast,
Yeah.
and now poor John is gonna have to put all this together and have it make sense.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But
good
it's
luck.
not my
John,
problem.
we love you. Like Minnesota loves you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it'll be the next month I'll be spending working on this.
Yes. See, and that's what's kind of funny about this, Ange, is I've known John now obviously since the mid 90s, but it's really cool because you guys, I know how often all of you guys listen to our podcasts.
Mhm.
And so I get it. Like over time, you've like felt like you've gotten to know John because of the podcast.
Yeah.
So what a cool thing though, that you guys get to do a podcast with him and then he gets to hear, I hate to use the word. I'll just, you know what? I won't use the word listeners, not fans. Cause
We're fans.
you think so? I have a
Why
fan
would,
base.
why would we keep listening? Why what? Yeah. It's funny to sit here in my bedroom and do this, and then all of a sudden Mark's sitting in my garage. I'm like, oh, you have the better backdrop than I do. It's crazy.
Well, no one ran through here looking for ass wipe, so I'll give you that. The only ass wipe in the garage right now is me.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys go so we can wrap it up. But John, it was really nice to put a face with all the voices, and I hope to see you next summer.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for hosting this big thing.
Anytime.
Now is the moment of truth, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
This is something we have not done this on this podcast yet, but we're going to do it on the fly. I'm not even going to dick around here. I'm just going to go straight to you and I'm going to give you the honors. What are your 4 songs from what we just heard that make up your Mount Rushmore of the ultimate party song?
Well, and on one hand, I'm glad that we're doing this right away, and we're just going to go out and throw these out there, because if I sat and thought about this for a while, I'd probably change my list. But I'm just going to throw out the ones that I have. I was making notes as we were going and as I was listening to
Me
everybody.
too.
Yeah, and a lot of them did a great job of selling their picks to us, and I appreciate that. And that's actually some of the reasons why I'm ultimately picking the ones that I did. So I'm going to pick these now. I apologize to anybody who I'm not choosing, but it is what it is. Here we go. First one I got is Josh. He had Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. I'm going to take that one.
Great
first.
song.
You know, it reminded us of the whole Target Center thing with how many shows Garth Brooks played there, and I think that was cool. And I remember there's still that plaque in the lobby. The next one on my list was Mark with Footloose. And
I knew you were going to go that one.
yeah, well, there's 2 reasons why I'm going that way. One of them, he referenced previous podcasts of ours, our movie soundtrack podcast that we talked about Footloose, and he also just really sold it. He did a good job of that, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Mark.
So he buttered your ass up.
He did, yeah. He kissed ass, and you know what? It worked.
Get paid.
Next one was Angie. And not just because she's such a gracious host, but she chose American Girl by Tom Petty. And anybody that talks about Tom Petty is going to have going to strike a chord with me, because I do love me some Tom Petty. Lost him too soon, but cool song there. And then the last one, I said this too. This would be on my Mount Rushmore of hip hop songs. It's "California Love" by Tupac and Dr. Dre. I just love that song. It's a great party song, and I might go listen to it right now.
That was a hard one. And so here's the thing. I'm going to jump right to it too. It was hard, so I'm just going to go with my instinctual notes and what I starred. I don't feel bad. These songs are awesome. So I'm going to start with Amanda's pick. And that was from the Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize.
Nice.
Because it's such a groove song. I love that song, and I so am in agreement with her and what she was saying about it, that it just gets you in that mood. My next pick was from Daisha. Now, Daisha's was 50 Cent, and that was In the Club. And that was another one of those songs that, man, you once you hear it, you're not going to skip it. You're going to turn it up. The next one I'm going to go with is probably going to be a surprise to some, but it did bring me back so much to the Minneapolis club scene that I got to go with DJ Kool and Let Me Clear My Throat.
Awesome.
That's just such a gritty club song, man. It just brings you back. You can see the strobe lights and the lasers. And then I'm going to end with what I thought was the biggest surprise song of the night. And I am going to go with DJ Travis Perkins. And that was from Prince. Pussy Control.
I love that pick. And another one I didn't see coming, and it just missed my list, was Mustang Sally, because that one from 1967. That's an old school song that I never would have expected to hear that.
Everyone was awesome. I so appreciate them being a part of this experiment.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for everyone to be able to listen to what each other's picks were and what they said about them.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a quick sign off. I don't have a sponsor, and I really do appreciate the Perkins Roadside Motor Lounge.
Bye-bye.